All right, got an unboxing today. This one I'm super excited about. Make sure you like, subscribe, click all the stuff down below. Check out the Patreon, check out the eBay, RamboBikes.com. Use RRR Woods at checkout. Save yourself 20%. All right, let's get into the Ultraview Slider 2 for the Picatinny mount, which I've got two Mach 30, Mach 33 PSE bows over there, and I'm super excited to get this on one of these bows. I'll have a new bow build coming up here pretty soon involving this, but this is such a new and I guess just cool piece that I kind of wanted to do its own thing. There's a ton of them out there by people that are way more famous, have way more subscribers, but I do think having a view from somebody that isn't necessarily like sponsored, like I paid for this with my own money, I paid out of pocket for this, and there are things I like and don't like that I think you'll get more honesty from someone like me who I had to pay for this and they didn't give it to me, so I don't feel obligated to give some specific review. As always, Ultraview has fantastic boxing and stuff. Case looks really cool. I did not have the UV Slider 1. What I did have was, see if I know where my other one is, the housing for the UV2 SE XL. I love this housing, I think, for deer hunting. This is awesome. I've got 3 pins and a little bonus pin, so 20, 30, 40, and it's on a HHA bar, so I can turn the knob and precision shoot it. I shot this at TAC, shot 3D, all those events, all summer and spring long, so I love this housing. Now, the cool thing about it was I was able to take this 4-pin out and put a single pin in for just those archery events, and then swap it right back over to that for deer season. That's all it really took to get from shot 3D to deer season ready, just swapping the cartridge. So UV2, or UV Slider 2, I mean, I know the housing's gonna be awesome. I went with a little different housing on this. I went with a single pin. Normally I don't like single pins for hunting, but this one has indicators on the side, so I think it's pretty cool that I can at least know that I've got a 20 and then it might be like a 32 and then a 45 or whatever it is, whatever that gap ends up being, and I can indicate it on my sight tape. So that's one thing I went with that. I can still shoot this at shot 3D and TAC and not have to change the cartridge. So really liking that. Well built, compact. The other one I thought was a little bulky, and I'm not just saying that because I was not like in the cool crowd and had one. I'm saying that because I looked at it and thought, man, I think the HHA bar and that setup was a better setup for that. So that's why I just never really went that route. If I can figure out how to put it on, I guess. I've got the pick mount here, and then I've got the housing part. Wheel looks big, extra wrenches and parts. That's cool, obviously. In here, we've got sight tapes and instructions, it looks like. I won't use their sight tapes, I don't think. I'll use Precision Cut Archery, but they do send a ton of sight tapes, so good to have those. I'm not a big fan of the metal tapes that they're putting on here, but they're gonna start making metal tapes too, so if you're a fan of metal tapes, you can order metal tapes. I know if it rains a lot, I guess that's a big benefit. All right, so a couple things just right out of the gates I'm noticing. Wheel is nice and big. I know you hear a lot of people say the most ergonomic, and it does feel that way. Like it is big over you. If you've got gloves on, you could grab this and rotate that wheel pretty easy. Not a huge deal, but it is something. I've never had an issue with pin brightness. I've never used the lights on those UV2 XL SE sights. Never used them. I didn't care that this didn't come with a light. I might change my mind if I'm deer hunting with it and I get in a situation where I wish I had a light. But I think the lights are fine. In fact, I don't want the light bright. I want to focus on the target and not on the pin. If I'm focusing on the pin, I might be thinking that it wasn't bright enough. But the fact that it's not super bright, I think allows me to focus on the deer or the target. So I love the fact that the pins are perfect, I think. Super small, compact, even smaller than the HHA, I would say. So when you look at these side by side, you can see that's about where that pick would line up. How much smaller, more compact this is to the HHA. And that's one of the first things I noticed watching some of the other videos on the day it dropped. I think they've finally got this down to where it's a more compact sight than that one. And I really like that one. So I think this is going to be a perfect fit for deer hunting. And here's one thing. Here's one reason I really wanted this. And I noticed this is kind of the main selling point. Now, other than it's great, it's got all the adjustments, it's well built, it's ergonomic, all that's great, and that's been known. You can swap out the housings, that's awesome. You can add a light if you want to, awesome. Here's the thing that I think makes it unique. Maybe not unique, but the thing that kind of pushes it over the edge for me, the fact that I can have 2 different sight tapes. So I shoot, like this year I think I shot 6 different archery events, whether it be Shot 3D, Total Archery Challenge, those types of things. I shoot a different arrow for those. I shoot a Rip XV, which is super fast. Sight tapes compact together so I can get some farther shots. I can run that on this outside of the bar here for my Shot 3D and go ahead and keep my sight tape for my hunting arrows on the inside, and I don't have to take it off and then try to spend some time sighting back in. I can take both arrows. I can take my Rip XVs, my light arrows for early on, and then as we get closer to deer season, just swap over to this inside sight tape and start shooting my heavier hunting arrows. I think that's a really cool feature, and that's one of those that I didn't really think about until I was at a Shot 3D and a guy had 2 different arrows, and I kind of asked him why he had 2 different arrows, and he said that. He said, if it's a wide open shot, I'm going to use my hunting arrows. If it's in a tight coverage where I need to be fast and get underneath stuff, I'm going to use these faster arrows. I thought that was pretty neat. And it works out good that you've got one indicator on the outside. So again, that might be where you would run your TAC or your Shot 3D sight tape. Your inside has multiple indicators, so that might be your hunting setup. So you can easily quickly pull up and go, 20, 30, 40 or whatever your indicator is. This I think is like the total package sight. Now, I hadn't shot it, so I'm just saying this by looking at it, holding it, touching it, feeling it, kind of looking at the features. I'm going to dive deeper into it once I do a bow build on it coming up in just a couple days. So if you hadn't already checked one of these out, like I said, I know there's a ton of videos on them. I'm just one of many. Go check that out. Their little way they adjust their left and right, their windage is really pretty cool. Go check them out. It's stupid expensive, I get it. I do think sometimes you get what you pay for, though, and I think this might be one of those examples of it's probably worth paying a little extra for this. This is a pretty sweet site, so go check them out if you hadn't already. Again, like, subscribe down below. Go check out eBay, Patreon. Got a lot of cool stuff on the Patreon that I think is going to be beneficial when we do some giveaways here shortly before deer season, because deer season's right around the corner. Appreciate you guys watching. Stick around.